Finland seems to be a hotbed of horror these days. Last week we had The Twin released on Shudder, and this week we get Hatching, a modern fairy tale with heavy doses of body horror. Let's see what's crack-a-lackin' with Hatching. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Hatching is new on-demand and digital download from IFC Films. It's directed by Hanna Bergholm and written by Ilja Rautsi. From the outside of their idyllic home, Tinja, played by Siri Solalina, seems to be living the perfect existence. At least that's what her mother, played by Sofia Heidecker, tries to communicate while maintaining her video blog for her scores of online fans. After a crow accidentally enters their home, Tinja's mother murders it and tells Tinja to toss it in the rubbish. But that night, Tinja hears the crow screeching in the woods, and after putting it out of its misery, she finds an egg the crow was protecting. Feeling responsible for the egg, Tinja takes it home and secretly takes care of it. But what hatches out of that egg turns out to be a nightmare and the antidote for Tinja's ever-so-perfect family. Hatching is an amazing modern fable set in Finland, but the themes are as relevant all over the world as they are there. It's a film about those obsessed with the image of perfection, not really caring about the ugliness inside. It's a comment on social media addiction and how we live one life online and live a quite different one in reality. It's also a wonderful story about the complexity of a teenager growing into an adult, facing responsibilities, keeping secrets, and understanding that the world is not the fair and perfect place the fairy tales promise. This is a densely themed film that could be examined and dissected multiple times from multiple angles, and it would only crack the surface. But by framing the story in a dreamlike utopia, the locale and situation serves as a blank slate where all of this thematic heft can be projected. It reminds me of a David Lynch or John Waters film in that aspect. But it's also one of the most potent body horror films you're going to see this side of a Cronenberg joint. Body horror isn't just gore, though Hatching is quite gory and effects heavy. With body horror, the gore and effects represent something with great thematic weight. In this case, the gore in Hatching represents many things that are common in young female athletes. Once hatched, the creature must feed, but being bird-like, the creature must have the food regurgitated in order to consume it. This requires Tina to eat and vomit up the food, then the creature laps up the vomit. You bet your sweet ass it's goddamn gross. But it's also a shining metaphor for bulimia and eating disorders that are quite common in young athletes. As the creature begins to grow, it begins to display more human traits, given the care and feeding of its surrogate mother, Tinja. Again, this requires some absolutely gruesome scenes of metamorphosis. The effects are flawless and surreal. While the horrors happening are quite fantastic, the effects, which are a combination of CGI and practical, elevate the story by being so disgustingly realistic. Anyone who has taken care of birds know that they can be pretty damn gross, and that point is driven home with Hatching. Hatching also encapsulates the epitome of a truly dysfunctional relationship between Tinja and her mother. Both performances incite feelings of frustration and sorrow, as Tinja's mother seems to care more about her image and making herself happy by living through her daughter's achievements than taking a second to think about what Tinja is actually feeling. If there is a true monster in this movie, it's Tinja's mother, and Sofia Heidecker plays the part amazingly. From telling of inappropriate secrets to Tinja to cuckolding her own husband, Tinja's mom, who doesn't get or deserve a name, is the one you want to root against in this one. Hatching works on many, many levels. It presents a truly surreal scenario and treats it seriously. It presents all kinds of faults in the human condition and provides no easy answers. Horror is often quite predictable, and more times than not, once I'm halfway through, I can predict how the film is going to end. But with Hatching, I had no clue, and I loved it that director Hanna Bergholm was able to surprise this jaded viewer. And if you're wondering, the ending is quite perfect, if not dark and nihilistic. This is one of the best horror films of the year. It's a successful monster movie, but also so much more, and will definitely prompt deep discussion afterwards. That's the kind of horror movie I want to see more of.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside that reality.